let's go ahead and take a look at our cosine graph. And I'm going to do the same thing as the last one. I'm going to go ahead and pick a couple degree measures to work with. So let's go ahead and take a look at an x value of 0 degrees. And let's go ahead and plug that into our cosine function. So I've got y equals cosine of 0 degrees. And if I type this into my calculator, that's going to give me a positive 1 as my y value. So this graph is going to be starting at the point 0, 1. Let's go ahead and do a couple more. Let's go ahead and take a look at pi over 6. That's the same thing as 30 degrees. So for an x value of 30 degrees, we've got y equals cosine of 30. And if you type this into your calculator, you're going to end up with a decimal here, 0.866, and you're probably going to have some more digits after that. I'm going to leave it there as those 3 digits. We want exact values here. Anytime you see that 0.866 number, that's the same thing as radical 3. So as a point on our graph, we have 30 degrees, or pi over 6, and our y value here was radical 3 over 2. Let's go ahead and do one more. We've got an x value of 45 degrees, which would be the same thing as pi over 4. And if we plug that into our function, we have cosine of 45 degrees. Remember, that's going to give us that 0.707 number, which is the same thing as radical 2 over 2. So as a point on our graph, we have 45 degrees and radical 2 over 2. Okay, and we can continue with this process, and if we take a look at these points, what we're going to end up with is this graph here that you see in the middle. That's an example of our cosine graph. And what you see is one cycle of the graph. Keep in mind that cosine also has a period of 2 pi. So you're going to see one full cycle of that graph between 0 and 360 degrees. Right? And if we extend our graph in both directions, you're going to see multiple waves on your graph, which is the image that you see down here towards the bottom of your screen. Let's go ahead and look at our domain and range of this function as well. Our domain is our x values. And if we take a look at our graph here, our graph is going to extend in both directions forever. So negative infinity to positive infinity will be our domain. And our range, how far up and down our graph goes. Our lowest y value is a -1. And our highest y value is a +1.